Hi guys, it's Inspirational Nails. So this video is pretty much a part 2 to my last video. Why? Because it's also using my distress stamper, but this time I'm actually going to stamp using an image versus just using polishes to use as a sponge. And this, either you love it or you don't, because you couldn't fathom butchering your stamper. But of course, I have a lot of stampers, so I'm not going to cringe that I've butchered and ruined one of my stampers, because I do have a lot of different stampers and I use them for all different types of things. Someone had asked, why do I have so many different stampers? Or why do I use so many different stampers? I guess when they watch my videos, they see I use different ones. And it's because, honestly, it just depends on what I'm doing. Sometimes I just want to check out the stamper, and sometimes I do see that some stampers work better than others, depending on what I'm doing. And I will do a video on that, because I do have people that ask, why do I use all different type of stampers? And I'm going to show what I feel does the best for what. And there's so many different techniques. I mean, when I mean there are so many different techniques that you can do with a stamper, I mean, it's endless. It really is, because I've seen so many people come up with some really creative things with their stampers or use them in different ways. So definitely I will be showing a video on what you really can do with your stampers, because there's a lot of different varieties of things you can do in order to create some beautiful nail art. So with that said, I am going to use this distress stamper. I call it a distress stamper because that's the image, or that's the look that I feel that it gives. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use it on this nail because my nails are all done. And this here has a coat of black, and then what I did use on top is the crackle from China Glaze. And this is another thing that a lot of people, they don't use, is the crackle polish, because it's maybe outdated. I don't know, but I like to use them, especially when you're stamping over. If you have them, pull them out, and you're going to see just really a different look when you're stamping over, because it has these open areas where you still get your base, but you get this other textured on top that it's not sponging, it's just different. And try your crackle going the long way or sideways, and also you'll get a different effect there when you actually stamp on top. I also like to stamp with glitters, with using glitter crackles, because if you're using a solid base and then you use the glitter crackle on top, you'll get that open of the solid peeking out, and then when you stamp over it, you'll just have a beautiful, the solids and the glitters peeking out. It's just, I like using the crackles. I have found that you get so many different styles just by using the crackles. And I also, will try to do a video on doing that with different type of crackles, because I do have a lot of different ones, different brands, and they do crackle differently, some more intense than others. And I'm sorry if I feel like I'm jumping around to different things, but I really have just so much to say to you guys, and just a lot of different things that you can do with stamping. And I absolutely love it. So I hope that you find my videos informative and will try some of these things out. If you definitely try these out and you like it, please let me know. Because I really think that I really try to look for things that are maybe outside of the box, in trying to learn more and more about stamping. Okay, so with that said, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be stamping using, oh, no, not avocado. I'm so sorry. I'm actually going to be using the lemon tree from Mundo de Uñas. And really, to be honest, they're very similar. I would say the lemon tree from Mundo de Uñas is probably a tint lighter than the avocado, or maybe brighter, better said. But I am going to be using the lemon tree. Okay, and then the image that I'm going to be going for, if you look at this right here, for me it has like a wilderness type of look already, and that's what I'm going to be going for. So the actual image that I'm going to be stamping over using the distress stamper is this area right here. It's like the bamboo with the leaves. I mean, I think that that's just a pretty image, okay, for the look that I'm going for. So I'm going to be using that image right there. And then what I'm going to be doing is actually stamping on top with the deer. This deer is from the Sheikah plates, and this is the Sheikah plate number 17. I'll tell you about the other plate in a minute. And the deer is right here. Okay, now what I did was I also used another technique, and this is again another stamper. This is my express stamper, and what I did was all I did was stamp the image. I did use Mundo de Uñas stamping. This one here is a brown, and it's number 22 from Mundo de Uñas, and the color is brown. Okay, and what I did was, all I did is once I stamped the image, I just coated it with a top coat and I let it dry completely. And I will be peeling it off. I will show you how I do that, and then just putting it on the nail. The reason why I did this is just to play around with different techniques. I could have just stamped on the deer, but I kind of wanted to, sometimes when you want to be more accurate or you want it in a certain spot, sometimes you don't want to take the chance to actually stamp it on because it just might not stamp exactly where you want it. So sometimes if you want to make it exact, by doing this technique, you're going to get it exact because you're pulling it off and you're actually placing it exactly where you want. Okay, so with that said, I'm going to go back to the other plate. This plate is from Moyu London. And it is from the Suki collection, and it's number 8. And again, it's this area right here that has those bamboo leaves on it. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp it. And I'm just going to be using, I am going to be using my Creative Shop card. Okay. And I'm just kind of shaking up my polish a little bit. And again, I'm going to be using my Distress stamper. And this stamper is the Sissy and Ceci stamp. Okay, and again, you don't need a lot when using the Mundo de Uñas stamp polishes. Okay, and there it is. And as you see, the colors look amazing. So I'm just going to go ahead and now roll it onto my nail here. And there we go. As you see, it's not the full design, but it just has enough to give that perfect distress look. And that's what I am going for. That's exactly what I'm going for. So I want you to get a close-up of this. See that? Okay, so now that I've done that, I'm just going to move this plate out of the way. And then I'm going to go ahead and bring back to focus here. Okay, now I'm going to take the little deer that I have here. You do want to pull it off with a tweezer. Now, you do want to wait until this dries, which I know it's already dry. But you want to go ahead and just lift from the side. And this is going to lift up really quick because it's been drying for quite some time. So I'm just going to pull it off gently. Just pull it off gently. And you're going to have your little deer. Okay? Now what you want to do is, you can do different things. I'm just going to place it on my little card there. Okay? And I'm going to use some clear coat. And all I'm going to do is just put a little bit of clear coat so that I can lay it down onto the nail, okay? Okay, so now I'm going to just put some clear. Oop, I have some like little fuzz on there. And I hope that it's focusing. For some reason it doesn't want to focus today. And I'm just putting a little bit kind of where I want to lay it. Okay, and then I'm going to pick up my little guy here. Okay, there he is, my little deer. And I'm just going to place it where I want, and I want it right there. Okay, and I'm just going to push down very lightly. Okay, and then you can use your tweezer to push down just to get everything down. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead and just put another coat on top here so that it just smooths everything out, and it really does smooth everything out. Okay, and there we go. Here's my little deer in the woods. And I think it's so pretty. I mean, I really love, as you see, I use the crackle polish for the backgrounds. And I just use that hint of that distressed bamboo in the background just to give a subtle of that, you know, green forest type of image peeking out. And a little Bambi. If I color the little nose, I have Rudolph. Alright, that was... never mind. Okay, so I hope you liked this video, and until the next one. Bye, guys!